Okay, here we go again. I'm back on the solo game where I'm playing a Mechlar and I've got a lot of colonies, and I'm going to show you how the colony screen works. So, here they are. It looks like they're sorted alphabetically. You can change the sort here by name, population. You can scroll up, type. So you can see there's lots of different planet types: ocean planets, arid, steppe, desert. Anyone familiar with the original Massive Orion should be familiar with this. You got barren, tundra. These are red because they're hostile. For example, and that's actually kind of important. If a planet is hostile and it needs atmospheric terraforming, you'll see this. It'll be in red. If the planet is fertile, if it's already had soil enrichment, it'll be green here. So that's kind of a quick way to tell you. The population, of course, includes this little up arrow, tells you how much it's grown in the last turn. So you can see this 87 Taurus is a Conop 4. By the way, the Mechlars, they're like a computer race, and so they name their planets differently than the other races. Every race has its own naming convention. So when you're let's say playing against the Bulrathi and you're fighting them, they're always going to have a consistent naming convention for their systems, right? So that's one thing I worked on here. This is the size of the planet, as opposed to the population. The population is obviously how many people are on it. The size is the maximum number of people that can be on it. So as you can see, this Sagittarius planet was apparently just really recently, recently colonized. Then you have this waste column, which tells you if there's any waste that needs to be cleaned up on it right now. In the Silicoid Empire, since they don't clean up waste, there will be lots of big numbers here. This notes column allows you to type in notes, like these are notes for the Libra planet. I forget what the limit is. I'm sure I'll find out if I type too much. So this is a good way. If there's something about a particular planet you want to mark, you can come in here and put it in the notes, and it'll be saved when you save the game even. That's the ecology view. It gives you the population, the type, the size. The industry view gives you in addition to the population, gives you the factories, total production, how much reserve is currently assigned to the planet, and of course always the notes. The military view gives you the shield level for the planet. I don't have any set up. How many bases are set up? I don't have any bases. The AI is smart enough to know not to build missile bases if he hasn't encountered anybody, and in this particular game it's playing by itself. And the shipyard tells you what ships you're currently building. Let's see, what else? One nice thing that you can do on this screen that you could not do in the original Massive Orion is you could actually come over here and adjust the spinning on your planets. It's kind of nice. Before, in the original game, you actually would have to go back to the map screen and do that. So this is a really good, convenient way to look at your planets and by whatever data you want, and then change the spinning as necessary. There's some empire-wide metrics here, like of your total empire spending, what percent is going on ships, how much is on missile bases, how much you're spending on spying, and internal security. So since the AI has not met any other empires, these three are always going to be zero. He's not going to spend any defense money. Trade is always zero in this case because there's no other trade partners. But in a game where you have trade partners, you would see like how much of your total income comes from trade versus your colonies. And this here, this reserve, this is how much money you have in your empire's treasury. And what you can do with this is you can assign this to other colonies, and you can increase their production. You can double it. So, for example, let's go to the industry view, and we can see, like, I'm going to show these guys about production. So, if I was building some important ship on this planet and I wanted to increase production, I could come over here and say I want to transfer reserve to this guy, and I can do that, right? And I hit accept. And now he's got 233 in reserve, and his total production is 414. That's the most it can be. If I give him more reserve, his reserve goes up, but his production doesn't. What will happen is it'll use that 233 reserve from before, and then next turn what's left over will be carried in here. And when you scrap ship designs, like if you've got like a bunch of ships you want to scrap them, that goes into this reserve here, so you can distribute it to planets as you want. Now you may be asking, what if I don't want to figure out like how much I need to send to this planet in order to maximize its production, right? I just want to do it. Well, that's one thing that's cool about this is you can just, when you hit the transfer, it'll automatically set that. If you do 184 BC, what it defaults to, that's the most you can give it to and double its production. That's how come when you hit it again, it's 0. You can still give it more if you want, but it won't help the production this turn. So if you're tight on reserve and you want to like double production for some planets, this is a good way to do it. Let's see. I'm not sure what else I can show here. I forgot to show this on the other main map. In fact, I'm going to show it over here where it's a little easier to see. When you build bases in the original game, you would have to remember to come and turn off your defense spending when it was done. Like let's say you only want 20 bases on this planet. Every turn you might want to, if it's getting close, you might come over here and check to see what your bases are, right? And if you forget about a planet, it'll just keep building bases and more bases, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, why is like 20% of my empire spending going on missile bases? And you're going to go find this one planet that you forgot to turn off, and you look and you've got like 500 missile bases or something. Well, so one thing I added to the game to prevent that from happening is you can come over here and you can set a limit. You can say I want to put 10 missile bases, no more than 10 missile bases on this particular colony. So when the missile bases get to that limit, it'll automatically stop, and you don't have to worry about that problem. Okay, I think that covers everything on the colonies view. So that's it. Thanks, guys.